And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Love is in the air this Valentine's Day, but it isn't true love for everyone. People are falling victim to romance scams, which cost Americans a record $1 billion last year. Our next guest tells us what led to that and how dating apps play a big role.
For people who are not quite aware what catfishing means, what is that?
Catfishing is when somebody creates a fake profile using photos that are not their own or pretending to be somebody they're not in order to gain trust from a potential victim.
And is it always gaining trust for romantic gain, financial gain, or some other sadistic gain out there?
You know, it could be any of those three, unfortunately, but the financial gain is a big one. Romance scams cost Americans more than $1 billion in 2021. So a lot of people out there who are catfishing are doing so with the goal of stealing your money or stealing your information in order to make money.
And in the past, Hillary, we have seen many older people who were more susceptible to scams and romantic scams. But now the demographic, we're seeing people younger and younger because of social media.
Yeah, absolutely. Millennials actually lost more than $100 million to romance scams last year. So while I think we typically think of older people falling victim to these scams, anybody can experience them. So it's good, especially this time of year when scammers know around Valentine's Day, people are looking for love. They're taking advantage of that. So it's good to be skeptical.
And do people, the potential victims out there, do they get desperate during Valentine's Day or during the holidays when they want to be with someone and show family members and friends, hey, I got someone?
Absolutely. And scammers know that. They're becoming more sophisticated. They know that this is a time of year that people are a little bit more vulnerable and desperate, like you said, and are potentially more willing to take some risks in order to find love.
And what are some of those scams that we're seeing? Give us some examples, Hillary, of what you're seeing out there online that's costing Americans over $1 billion.
Sure. So typically a scammer will create a fake profile like we've already talked about. They will usually create a profile that is attractive and makes you want to match with them or engage with them. They will usually start to immediately move the relationship forward very quickly. They will say things that you want to hear in order to build trust and get you to open up sooner than you might typically. And then once they feel like they've gained your trust, they could do a number of things. They might ask you for money or for gifts. They may ask you to invest in cryptocurrency. They may ask you for personal information that they will sell on the dark web for money or use to commit identity theft. And they may even ask you for private photographs that they could use to blackmail you for money eventually.
Now, many of us, in reality, if you're going to buy a new car or if you're going to buy a new house, you want to go inside, take a look at that house. You want to go do a test drive of that car. Why do we allow ourselves to be taken advantage of with someone online when you don't actually meet them? Is that part of the desperation?
That is absolutely part of it. If you have not met somebody in person or you haven't met them on video chat even, those are usually big signs that this could be a potential scammer. You should never be sharing personal information or gifts or money with somebody who you haven't met in real life. And even if you have met them, you should still practice skepticism. So usually these romance scammers will go to all ends to avoid meeting in person or having a video chat. They may even set up a date and then at the last minute cancel it, saying that there was some sort of family emergency and, or other excuses that are super convincing. So meeting in person and seeing that person with your own eyes is a good way to kind of take some steps towards verifying that they are not a scammer and that they have good intentions.
At Aura, you guys help people when it comes to online, especially those who are taken advantage of. What other advice would you give to people from Aura that may face themselves victims of catfishing or some type of scam online, especially during the holidays like Valentine's Day.
Yep. So don't share your personal information is a big one. Just keep it private. There's really no reason why someone you're dating needs extremely personal information about you. Also recommend doing a Google search, look them up on the internet, do a Google image search of the photos they're using on their profile, and make sure that they own those photos, and be proactive about protecting yourself. Services like Aura will help you protect your identity, your finances, your information, and all of your online accounts.